Hi guys, this is Ashley. I'm a personal trainer and weight loss coach, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to create your perfect calorie deficit. So it may not sound that exciting, but it is key to helping you lose weight. But before we get into that, I want to just let you know about the mission of this channel. The mission of this channel is to help people around the globe with their weight loss goals and help them on their weight loss journey. So if you want to be a part of that, the best thing you can do is to like and subscribe, and that way it helps support us on YouTube so that we're in front of more people and more people can get the same kind of help and tips that you're getting. So today's tip is how we're going to create our calorie deficit. Now we know at the end of the day, the real thing that matters in weight loss is creating that calorie deficit. If you're doing keto, if you're doing intermittent fasting, if you're doing any kind of diet program, really, even if you're exercising to lose weight, all these things, the reason that they work, the reason you do them is to create a calorie deficit. So we're going to talk about how you actually figure that out. I'm going to give you the hard way, the easy way, and how you can use it to help you lose weight. So what is a caloric deficit and why do we care? The reason we care is because any kind of diet you do, any exercise you do, the things you do to lose weight, really the bottom line, the reason you're doing them is to create that calorie deficit. So let's look at it. If we know that our bodies, for example's sake, take maybe 2,000 calories to keep a maintenance, that means you're not gaining any weight, you're not losing any weight, your maintenance is 2,000 calories per day. If we create a deficit of 500 calories all 7 days of the week, that puts us on track to have a deficit of about 3,200 calories, which is exactly 1 pound. So if you wanted to lose 1 pound a week, you would need a deficit of 3,200 calories. So there's a few ways you can do it. You can exercise so that you are burning more calories than what you're taking in, or you can diet, which will reduce the calories that you're putting into your body, or you can do both, which is highly recommended to speed up this process. And it allows you to be able to eat more without starving yourself, and you fuel your body, and when you exercise, it's going to make you more toned, so when you lose the weight, you're not going to have as much sagging skin and things like that, some of those issues that come when you don't work out with the eating right. But when you pair them together, you create the perfect situation to lose weight, create that calorie deficit, and you're going to hit your goals. So let's get into the hard stuff first, the math. I don't like math. Most likely you don't like math. Maybe you do. So if you do, I'm going to give it to you so you can understand the formula for doing this. And I'm going to tell you now, there's about 3 different ways, and probably in another 20 years there'll be another method to calculate your caloric intake and how to figure out what your calorie deficit should be and all these things. But I'm just going to tell you the one that's most commonly used today, and that way you'll know if you want to do the math for yourself and figure it out and play with the numbers, you can do that. So here it is. This is the key, the formula to figuring out your calorie deficit. Now, I'm going to tell you that you can skip this step, but just in case you wanted to know, this is it. It's your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, which is in kcal, your calories over day, equal to 10 times your weight in kilograms plus 6.25 times your height in centimeters minus 5 times your age in years plus S, where S for men is +5 and for women it is -161. This is all very complicated, very scientific, but this is really the answer. If you plug all the numbers into this, you will find out exactly what that calorie range is that you should be in. Now remember that this calorie range that it's going to give you is really more your caloric intake, what it really should be. If you want to create the deficit, then of course you want to be lower than this number. Now, this is the difficult way. Luckily for you, there's an easier method. There are so many calorie counting calculator apps and websites out there that, thank God for Google. If you just Google caloric intake calculator, The first few ones that pop up, I've tested them, they're all good. You can just input the values and it will spit it out and tell you. Some of them will even break it down for you and tell you, the math again, how it came up with these numbers and what it really means. And some of them go a few steps further and even say, okay, this is what you need to do to maintain. If you want to lose half a pound a week, this is how many calories you should have. If you need to lose 1 pound a week, this is how many calories you should have. And it will actually lay it out for you. Now, if you're planning to actually implement calorie counting and figuring out your caloric deficit every day, I would highly recommend using an app to help you track it. You can do the old school food journal, that works just as well, except at the end of the day, you're gonna have to plug those numbers in and figure out, oh, I had, a half a cup of peas. Well, how many calories is that and how many carbs, and, look each item up. But if you use an app, a lot of times those things are preloaded and it just goes so much faster. I have no relationship with any of the different apps that are out there, but I personally use MyFitnessPal. It's the one that's been around, I think, the longest, and it has, I think, some of the best data inside of it. So when you go to search, let's say you went to Olive Garden, you can easily see, how many calories those breadsticks were, and you can easily input the values for specific items that you're eating, be it at restaurants or at home. I think it's a very simple system to use, so it's one of my favorites. Now, if you're new to using MyFitnessPal or one of these other apps, they're going to ask you the very same questions the caloric intake calculator did, because it's going to do the same formula and the same legwork for you. It's going to want to know your age, your height, if you're male or female. It's going to plug all those numbers in and it's going to say, okay, based off of these things, this is your caloric intake, this is where you should stay in, maintain your weight, or to lose weight, or if you're trying to gain weight, and give you some ideas. So if you tell MyFitnessPal you want to lose weight and you want to lose weight aggressively, or you want to lose weight slowly, it will calculate and tell you how many calories you should be intaking. This is super helpful because it just means so much less work on our part in terms of math. You just put it in, what you're eating, and it figures it all out for you. The last thing we want to do, now that we know what our caloric intake needs to be, how to track it, is now we just need to monitor it and adjust it as needed. Remember that these formulas, while very scientific and pretty precise, it can vary depending on your situation. If you may have some hormonal things going on, if you're not drinking enough water, if you're stressed out about something, there are other factors that don't compute into this formula, and they could be holding you back from seeing the weight loss that you want to see. So if you're tracking it and you're on track and you're going, okay, I should have lost a pound already, and it's been a week or two, and you're monitoring and you're not seeing the results you need to, then we need to go back and see how we can adjust it even further. Maybe we need to increase our exercise. Maybe we should change the kind of exercise we're doing. Maybe we need to not just track calories, but where are we getting the calories from? So you may have to look at some other factors, okay? So make sure you hear what I'm saying, is that we create that calorie deficit, but we don't want to starve ourselves, and we need to just pay attention to other factors that could be playing a role in it. So with that, I hope this really helps you guys to understand how the calorie deficit works, how it helps you to lose weight, and how you can leverage it to help you. If you don't want to count calories because you find that tedious or just too much, I totally get it. But at the end of the day, when you see the scale move, just know that this is the secret that's behind it. And with that, guys, I really want to thank each and every one of you that subscribed and liked. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate those that leave comments as well. So if you want to leave me a comment, let me know what you thought about the video, how your weight loss journey is going, or if you just have some questions or topic ideas, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Take care.